morning. Good morning. Yeah, yeah. Good morning. Ooh. It's a new day.
Today's a new
day.
Good morning, my friends. Today is indeed a good day. I can love you and be your friend, even if we think differently, believe differently, act differently, look different, or come from different places in life. You are welcome here. With that in mind, let's get our day started together. Well, happy Valentine's Day. I hope you are celebrating with your beloved, with those that you love and appreciate and cherish. And I hope that today is an encouragement to you, not a discouragement. If you are not in that point of life yet where you have your spouse or you have your boyfriend or girlfriend by you every moment, or I hope that still is something that you look forward to today. I hope that today and everyone's celebrations does not in any way discourage you or crush your spirit, because there is something wonderful ahead for you. Today is a new day, and it's going to be a wonderful day for you. So, I'm sorry. I have to apologize. I'm going to be coughing. We had a fire inside the house this weekend, and had to call out the fire trucks and all that, and my lungs are hurting. I'm coughing a good bit, and it's hard to breathe. So I'm working on that, but I am coughing today. So I apologize. That's just something I got to deal with, and sorry you're going to have to deal with it with me. We're in this hole together. Today's precept, as we slow down our morning and we consider things that are valuable, that we consider valuable, the precept, the core value. And what I mean by core value is core values are things you're willing to give up other things on behalf of. For example, if I was running a business, and most businesses, they are there to make money, right? I would say for a lot of businesses, that is, money and profit is the core value. But if we say, if we want to act altruistic and we say that integrity is a core value, and we don't include finances in that list of core values, well, that would tell me by reading it that your integrity, it might be worth losing some money to maintain your integrity. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about contrasting core values. What do we really believe? What truly is most important to us? I apologize. Today, our core value, or our precept, is stewardship. And if you look up stewardship, and it's sort of a fancy word. You don't need, it's not like we run around and hear this word out there in the world a whole lot. It's not like love or a lot of the others. It almost has a religious connotation to it, just the word itself. That's usually sort of where you hear it. You do hear it in leadership and management courses and things like that if you go into business management, but it's not something that you're going to hear just on the radio. But stewardship, I think the reason for that is because of the perspective of stewardship. Stewardship isn't just about stacking our own paper higher. We'll hear that on the radio, right? Stewardship is about understanding we have a responsibility, right? And if we have a responsibility only to our own desires and wants, that isn't stewardship. So I want to get that clear. Stewardship isn't about stacking up for ourselves. Stewardship is about a responsibility that we have towards other than ourselves, other than our own desires and wants, right? So, with that thought, stewardship and having a responsibility, that is a perspective. If someone has a perspective of mine, like a selfish toddler, then they're not going to understand that everything I've been entrusted with includes a responsibility not just to myself. And that is a tough lesson for a child, for a toddler. It is a tough lesson for adults. Especially if we learn to cling to our stuff. Especially if we've encountered scarcity or we've encountered prosperity. Encountering either extreme of those can make it a challenge to see things as not just there to fulfill my needs and my wants and desires. But we have been, I believe, that it's my responsibility, not just to myself, but to all those around me, to manage wisely things like time, money, gifts and talents, right? My friendships, even my education, what I've been taught and what I've learned, I should manage that wisely. I shouldn't take it for granted. I need to manage trust. And that's an important one. I need to manage my reputation, not so that people think great of me, but so that they don't have to think badly of me. And the reputation of those I associate with, right? When there's an association of people, when there's a community, when you are a group, how you behave and what you represent in the way you live reflects upon those that you associate with. If I put the name of my company on a shirt and wear it on my chest, and everyone knows that I work there and live there and spend the majority of the hours of my waking time there, then how my vendors and my customers and all of that see me, in part, is how they are going to see that company, right? Even, and especially, I would say, with religious people. If you say you are a XYZ, pick your religion. How you live, how you truly live, not just how you speak and say, but how that impacts your life and how you manage wisely these things that we're talking about to either just help yourself and maybe even oppress others or steal from others or whatever. If you use that as an excuse for why you're either an excuse or an explanation for why you're behaving the way you are with these other things towards other people, then that is going to give people a real impression of that. So that's important. I need to manage wisely my vision and my purpose and my direction. Because if I don't have that right, if I don't have that bottom one right, managing the ones above it are worthless. See, we started off at the top talking about time and money and gifts and talents. When I'm self-focused and I look at this list, those I might think are the most valuable to get right. And that would be if it was all about me. But if we look at it differently, if we look at it as a responsibility, then that bottom, from the bottom up, the foundation must be laid well. Otherwise, you may manage your time down to the 15-minute. I used to do that. I knew what every 15 minutes to the 15 minutes of my day was going to be planned and scheduled for. I knew exactly how my money was going to be budgeted and spent down to the dollar. But when I was doing that, but my vision and my purpose and my direction was not clear and was not the best, I was still mismanaging. You see, the vision and the purpose and the direction, it impacts everything else. So there is a responsibility to those greater things for those lesser things to be in proper alignment if we are going to manage wisely. Now, stewardship, I mentioned a couple of areas. That is not all inclusive. Stewardship should cover all areas of our life, even those parts of our lives that are hidden, that no one can see, even those compartmentalized parts of our lives that are shut up and hidden in the closet, or hidden in our own room, what we do on our phones and on our computers and our tablets when no one is looking. Those are things that we may need to steward first and foremost, rather than exclude them from stewardship, because those will tell us. I can say that my vision and my purpose and my direction is one way. In front of others, I might brand that and put that out there and advertise that. But what I do alone with my own thoughts, what I am when I am out of the public eye, that will tell you more about your direction than what you do on a stage, or when you get a opportunity to present to others. So stewardship, we see that it goes to a responsibility, and that is not a heavy weight to be set upon someone's shoulders so that they go, oh, I've blown it, I've messed this up. Sure you have. We all do. The only way that we learn and we move forward is making mistakes. The Bible says a righteous man falls 7 times, but he gets back up. So don't expect to be perfect. Don't expect that you already are stewarding everything perfectly. Because like I said, you might be stewarding some of those items, but if you get a foundational one headed in the wrong direction, you're actually stewarding all of those resources in the wrong direction. So that's why we slow down. That's why we consider these things. That's why we listen to them with an openness to change, an openness to hear and acknowledge about ourselves that, hey, you know what? Yeah, I see that. I value that. I believe that there is a responsibility. And when we do that, we are aligning ourselves with a greater vision and purpose than just ourselves. I could go much deeper into that. If you want to go deeper with those kinds of things, reach out to me. We'll talk about those. If I tell you stories and you want to understand what those stories are talking about, let's get together one-on-one and let's talk about it. That's what parables are for, to intrigue and to draw people who are interested in seeking the same things together, not just to advertise ourselves. So, I heard a story, and it was from West Wing. And a man fell into a deep hole. And the walls of this hole were so steep that he could not climb out. And he was stuck. And people were passing by above. He could see them at the top. And he was yelling, "Help, help." And a doctor started to walk by. And he reached in and he wrote the man a prescription and threw it down in the hole and kept walking. The doctor used his gifts and his talents, right, and his education to offer the man some kind of help, the help he knew how to offer. A priest walks by. He hears the man's cries for help. The priest pulls out his study pad, writes a prayer on the study pad, tears it out, throws it down to the man, and continues along his way. He uses what he knows. He stewards his gifts and talents. Then a friend walks by. Hears his friend in the pit, in the hole, who can't get out, yelling, "Help, help." The friend jumps into the hole. And the first friend, who was already there, said, "Are you an idiot? Why did you jump into the hole with me? Now we're both stuck." And the friend that jumped in, he said, "I know this hole. I have been in this hole, and I know the way out." A friend. For me, that's a powerful story. There's a lot to chew on in that story. And the point of that story is not to beat up on doctors and to beat up on priests. If that's what you got from the story, you may be missing the point. If you want to talk about that story, or you want to talk about stewardship, or any of these other things, these values, these treasures that we're choosing to lay down other things so that we can pick them up and place them in our lives and walk in a different way. These things are not beyond you, my friend. These are not too high for you to reach to. There is a strength that is greater than yourself that gives these as gifts to you freely. That's as far as I'll take it in this. You want to take it deeper, reach out to me. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and hope to see you again soon. Happy Valentine's Day.